everyone, and welcome to Maighsitr. Just doing a quick preview this morning of the video that I'm going to show afterwards. The reason being is this video is not for everybody. Please use your discretion. I'll do a description in the box below, and please decide if it is suitable for you to view or not. What this video is I'll say for spiritual purposes only. It's not. I would also add entertainment purposes, but it is not an entertaining video. This is a video that I recorded back on the night of the 16th of December last year, following an accident in Devonport, Tasmania, Australia, where a school activity was taking place on the last day of school. There were children in a jumping castle. The jumping castle mustn't have been anchored properly, took off in the air, and several children were subsequently killed as they fell from the castle itself. Now, what this video is about is that night I received two very, very clear soul crossings, and I wanted to share them with you because they actually were very beautiful, peaceful, loving, and reassuring crossings. So please, as I said, it is a sensitive subject, and please use your discretion in regards to whether you view this or not. If this video is bringing up any issues with you, if you're in Australia, then please call Lifeline on 131114, or if you are in another country, then the mental health line services in your particular country. So if you're watching it, please be respectful. Know that this is from the heart. I have anguished for a long time over whether to actually publish this video, but a couple of nights ago I did receive a couple of very clear messages saying it's time. So take from it what you need. Sending my love. I can still feel the children and the families that were affected, and my heart goes to them. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Maighsitr again. I'm going to do a series of readings, and then I'm going to break for a period at Christmas, and I'll upload these readings over the next few days. But what I want to have a chat about today, I'm not going to draw the cards, and I'll upload this particular reading at a date in the future that I feel is appropriate. What I wanted to talk with you about is that about 4 or 5 days ago, in this time, it'll be longer by the time I upload this reading, we had a tragedy in Australia in a place called Devonport, Tasmania, where it was the last day of school, of primary school, so they were in year 6 or grade 6, what you'd call in the US, 11 and 12-year-old children, last day of school, having a ball of fun, and someone had organised a jumping castle. Now what happened is a group of these kids were on the jumping castle, gust of wind took it up in the air, and the kids fell out. Now immediately there were it ended up to be 6 deaths. There were 4 initially on the day. Horrific for the teachers, the classmates, the first responders, and the entire community itself. Our heart just goes out to the people of Devonport. I really feel the pain of the person that had organised that jumping castle, expecting it to be a wonderful day. For the first responders who, photographs came out of the police and the ambulance crews just hugging and crying. And what it really brought to the fore for a lot of people who had forgotten is that the first responders are people as well. People first, and emergency services is their job. It is not who they are. But what I wanted to go through, and as I said, I'll post this at a later date when I feel it's more appropriate. But so what happened? 4 kids died on the day, and 2 have subsequently died in hospital, and there are still a couple of children in critical care in the hospital system down in Tasmania. The whole country has poured its heart out for this community and these children and these families, both emotionally and financially, which is fantastic to see. But what I wanted to run through is I was meditating that night, didn't know anything about the children, don't know anything, still don't know a lot about them. They have been identified. But I had some really, really strong images for the two of the children, and they turned out to be the first 2 that were identified, but 2 of the children and their passing. So if anyone in Tasmania or who is a friend of the family sees this and feels that it's appropriate to pass on, please do so with my blessing, and I'm here if they wanted to contact me with any further questions. But I just wanted to run you through the images of these children. I feel it may be beneficial for some. It was certainly most heartwarming for myself to see, and did help the emotions in this particular tragedy. So I'll run through it quickly. I don't want to make it a long video. Now, I do on occasion see passings. I do on occasion converse with people who have passed. Usually it's a really delightful occasion, and sometimes they bring their friends along. You know, if there's someone that I'm familiar with who has passed and they have had a recent passing, they may bring the friend along to say, well, hey, you know, this is what it's all about, just to say good day and to put the person who has recently passed at some form of ease. When somebody does pass, what I see is, I see everything as a stick figure. I mean, I'm a terrible drawer at the best of times, and I think it helps me to just see these people as stick figures, so that I'm not trying to put myself onto them in any form or any way. So what I see is almost like a great a well, an arena of sorts, flat bottom, dirt bottom, and in this, what they are is they're curved walls surrounding this quite large area. When I say large, probably 8 metres across, 6 to 8 metres across, and the walls of this area are made out of a substance that is like ice to look at, but it is not a frozen substance. It's not cold, it's not wet, and I would almost call it a glass that has the appearance of ice. So what I saw, I went into the meditation, which I do every night before I go to sleep, and I had no intention of imposing on these children or their families at all, but they came to me and I just wanted to pass it on. So what I saw was, in this arena of ice, the first child was a little girl that I saw. I could tell because she has the stick figure dress and a stick figure ponytail, a little girl. There were 2 parents, there were 2 people, a female and a male, outside of the glass, holding on to each other, sobbing inconsolably, and my heart was breaking. But what I saw then was the little girl went up to the glass and she put 2 hands on it, outspread, 2 hands, as if she was trying to reach through to the man and the woman on the outside. And without knowing the man and the woman, they each put a hand up to the little girl. So she had her hand on the glass and they each put a hand up like that, as if trying to reach her and she was trying to reach them. And what she was doing was she was trying to put out this force of nature, this light, this connection, that she was okay. It was going to be okay. She loved them dearly, but it was okay. She was where not where she wanted to be, but where she was. She didn't feel pain. She didn't feel fear or anything of that nature. She just was putting the image out there that she was okay up against this shimmered light, shimmered glass. And then what happened is, as she was putting those thoughts through the glass to the man and the woman on the other side, who still had their arms around each other, she then started to float, and her hands moved away from the glass, and she floated up into towards the top of this arena, and floated into the light, and she was gone. And so that was the first girl, but she really, really wanted to let those she had left behind that it was okay. She loved them, and it was okay. Now the second very vivid image I had was the same arena, and it was a boy, little boy, and he was sitting in the middle of this arena. The glass again was around, and he had his knees pulled up to his chest and his arms around his chest and his head down, and he was lost. He had no idea what was going on. He was, I won't say he was frightened, because he didn't feel fear, but it was, I think it was confusion. He was feeling confusion. Outside of this glass there was a woman sitting, again sobbing, which is completely understandable. She had another child in her arms that she was clinging to dearly, and there was a dog sitting next to her. And the dog was looking up at this woman, not knowing what was happening, what to do. And this is the first time this has happened to me. The dog actually left the woman's side and passed through the glass. Now, I've never seen that happen before, but the dog passed through the glass to the boy and nuzzled the boy. The dog was almost as tall as the little boy was, sitting hunched on the ground. And the boy put his arms around the dog, buried his head into the dog's fur. The boy was crying, but it wasn't. I think again it was just confusion that this had happened. He hadn't obviously expected it, and he was fearful but not frightened. So he was cuddling the dog, and the dog then turned around and walked back out the glass to the woman with the child, and the dog put its head on the woman's lap as if to say, "I will look after you." And at that stage the boy stood up. He almost did like a hug movement to say, "I love you," and then he too floated up into the light and was gone. But the dog had passed through, reassured the boy, gone back to the woman, I'm assuming it was the boy's mother, and just he was telling the mother, just through his own dog actions, as they can do, that it was okay. It was all right. So in both instances, the message that was being sent across was, it's okay. And the dog was, I'll look after you. Now, again, if I do decide to post it, And this message gets back to any of the family or friends of these young children who we, hold in our hearts, is that it's okay. It's all right. They're looked after. They are in love. They're in light. But you can talk to them at any time and listen. And if you listen, just relax the mind. Breathe and listen, and open yourself to the possibilities. They will also talk to you. So tell them that you love them. They love you. And just hold them in your hearts and know that they are safe and they are in the light and that we are all thinking of you. So that was just the message I wanted to put out there. Really didn't know what to say after I'd seen that. It was so beautiful and it was so calming, and it just felt so peaceful. Okay, love to you all. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.